We shouldn't be going live. All right. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chastity Buckley. I'm the host of Midnight R&B, homage to Midnight Love BET, where I give all my flowers to all my R&B artists, singers, songwriters, and producers, while I respect and love the legacy what people have done in this music industry. And I'm here, y'all, today, and I'm very, very, truly honored to have these ladies on here. I mean, these ladies are singers, and I have to add on the list, y'all are songwriters, because those pens, baby, ain't nothing to play with.
Okay.
Yes, they are here today to celebrate the 25th anniversary of their self-titled debut album, the one, the only, the R&B group, Shades. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, Chastity. We love you. Thank you for having us.
I'm excited, ladies, because I know y'all had Shannon as also a former member of y'all group.
Yes.
I want to give my respect to her because, definitely she was one of the pioneers that also paved the way in this group. But we have here today, we have Miss Danielle, Miss Tiffany, and Miss Monique. Oh, y'all, 25 years of a beautiful album.
20?
Yay.
So how do y'all feel today about today being the 25th anniversary of your album?
I feel it's surreal. Honestly, like
Really is.
I was saying, I don't feel like it's been 25 years. To me, it's like almost like yesterday. Like I still remember. I've been listening to the album a lot this week, and I don't know why. Just because I think I missed it. So I'm like, wow. There's so many things that it's like, wow. Okay, yeah, I remember that moment when Tiffany was like getting that note, and I remember when Monique was getting that note, and her ad lib. Certain things are just so memorable, and it's just great.
Yeah.
It just really feels like yesterday, especially listening to that album.
Oh, well, I'm truly excited.
You ladies too. I was gonna say they look the same as they did 25 years ago.
Oh,
I don't know if it's a
so
black
you.
but you guys did not age, so that's why I really don't feel like it's been 25 years.
Well, I'll say this. It doesn't feel like 25 years, but it feels like so much has happened in 25 years. So it feels like just like we were, in my mind, we were just 19 and 20 making our first album, but really so much has happened. And it just grounds you when you think about what we've accomplished, It's amazing.
Yeah. For sure.
Look, you got people in the chat saying, I know that's right. Yes, and that's why I'm excited to have y'all here today. I know we're going to be discussing about that, but before we do get started, I want to ask how y'all been doing since, we're now in the new decades of the 2020s. How have y'all been doing since we've been in this crazy, crazy pandemic? How have y'all been doing?
Who wants to go first? I mean, we all have a story, I'm sure.
We've actually been doing good. The funny thing is that we had been apart for years. For a minute, everybody kind of started doing their own thing and having children and running businesses. And when we came together 3 years ago, we were so excited to get this reunion started because people have been reaching out for years. Like, you guys have to put something out. And I think our lives were going in different directions. So it was really hard to get on the same schedule. So we finally did. And we were so excited. We recorded like two songs. We recorded a video. We were ready to go. And then COVID hit. So once COVID hit, I mean, we were kind of basically just focused on our health at that point. And we didn't really, living in 3 states, it was hard to go back and forth, recording and things like that. So we just put everything on hold and went back to our normal lives again and figured, we'll pick it up. We'll pick back up at when the time is right again, which is actually going to be pretty soon, thank God. So, but we've been doing pretty good.
Come on, look at God when He do it, and that's what I'm proud of y'all because I did see that in 2019 y'all did came back with y'all resurgence. We'll talk about that later on in the interview. But I do want to get started about who y'all are as a people, as ladies, since y'all have formed this beautiful, beautiful group named Shades. I want to ask y'all to get started, like, how was it like, forming the group? But not even that, I know it was 5 of y'all before it became a quartet. So I want y'all to talk about that, but not even that, like, how did y'all come together? I know 2 of y'all went to university, and then I know other 2 of y'all met up together. So how did that come about as a formula to make this group called Shades?
I'll take that. So we were all young women, like you mentioned. Shannon and Tiffany went to Northeastern University in Boston. Danielle and I were local in New Bedford, Massachusetts, local young girls singing in different groups and singing live in different clubs. And I personally was working at a barber shop, mentoring and assisting someone. And he would always encourage me to, you need to do something with that voice. And finally he said, I have a friend in Boston who wants to put a girl group together, and she really wants to manage a group. Why don't you go meet her in Northeastern? And I kind of said, no, I don't want to go. And then I went home that night after closing the barbershop, and he knocked on my mom's door and was like, get in the car, I'm taking you right now. And that's how I met Tiffany and Shannon. Danielle was already there, because I think, Danielle, you already knew Michelle and Lois.
I did,
so they got you involved. And
yeah,
then, so
I was actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was in a group with Lois, one of the managers that was trying to put something together. So I had already known her. And then Michelle is the one that found Tiffany and Shannon, and then Monique.
Actually,
quartet after that.
Right. I remember first meeting Shannon. She was singing everywhere. Like every hallway you could hear Shannon's voice. And I'm like, who is this girl? Like, I gotta meet this girl. So that's how she and I connected, because she was always singing, always happy. We would be in the dorm room just singing, and she kind of brought me in, like, wait a minute, I know a girl that's trying to put together a group. I think you would be perfect. So she actually brought me in. And then there was a friend of hers that she grew up with, Jen. She was actually the 5th member. So yes, there were 5 initially when we first started.
Oh yeah, Jen, I remember her.
I forgot about Jen.
I kind of forgot about her too. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, wow. I really did. No,
you guys.
Really?
See, there's things that we forget about.
Was it official though?
Oh. Well, no, it was official because she practiced with us. I think that the label didn't want a 5-girl group. That's what happened.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, the package was presented. I think it wasn't what they were looking for.
Now, when we were on Atlantic Records, we had that 5th member. Remember?
She was sorry, Monique.
Sorry, but we did have another 5th member, but that's why I didn't remember Jen. She was really a 5th member. Go ahead.
She was a nice girl. She had a great voice.
Right. I love this, ladies. But I love how y'all just talk about this, because a lot of people don't know. They think that y'all were a quartet first, and not knowing there was another member in the group. So I know a lot of stuff with a lot of girl groups they have into where, people change, members change, people don't want to stay in, some people, get out. Things happen. But I love that y'all talked about that, because I think a lot of people don't kind of recognize the unfounding members, or pretty much the ones that started off. But I think sometimes when things don't happen, God puts it to where the everybody's, a certain harmony or a certain group to make things, be cohesive and make, girls, blend in together. Because I know with girl groups, it's hard to get along. So I understand all that. But for the most part, I just love it. And I know you just said, Miss Monique, about Atlantic Records. I heard that was your first record deal y'all got in like 1994. Is that correct? Like y'all got in 94 the record deal?
Yeah.
Because my favorite artist, Brandy, was on there. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. My mother came and shut it down.
Brandy, intro.
Her mother was not playing.
And shut it down. She was like, "Oh, this is gonna be for my daughter. I don't know what y'all trying to do." Pause. It was great, but we came in at a time when and Vogue was leaving. They were retiring, trying to move, winding down, and so there was a lot of need for a female group, a new young group, and I guess Sylvia at the time said, they harmonized like it in Vogue. They have that natural camaraderie together. Let's try to see what we can do. And it was instant. So it wasn't long lived, but it was a great memory for me, because it let me know that we didn't get in on anything but our vocals. You know what I mean? It was really affirming for us.
And we did have a really good experience.
We did. It really, really was.
We had great producers.
Shout out Kevin Woodley.
Yes, Kevin Woodley.
Yes, Kevin Woodley.
And let me tell you, out of all the people in the business, he was always nice to us.
Even still to this day.
Yes.
Yep,
so
always.
No negative experience with him. He was great.
Yep. He was.
And
he
then
was really a big brother.
You guys remember? Craig King produced most
of
the album, right? So the album was great. We were very sad.
The album was beautiful. I think it was too mature for us. Because we were so young, and it was really old school, love, sick with it songs. We were just 18, 19 years old.
Did we have a song called Do Me Baby, right? If you want.
Do Me was one of them, and
you remember that?
What's the one we did with Wokey Stewart down in Atlanta? Remember we flew to Atlanta and did some music with
Wokey. Craving. Boy, you got me craving.
Yeah, boy, you got me craving.
It was a little adult. It was very mature. You're right.
Yeah, it was like one of us probably knew what that meant. No, just kidding. But honestly, we were too young, so that caused the whole vibe of brand, so we had to rethink it all. And it gave us the time to go home and kind of recalibrate what we wanted for ourselves. So when we got another opportunity at Motown, we had a bigger voice. So we were able to say what we wanted and how we saw ourselves. Right. Not that it made a difference every time, but it definitely, we knew we had that power.
Yeah. We had a little bit of input. They listened to us sometimes.
They did. Especially when it came to the look. The look was how they let us get away with it. The music let us do that, but the look you guys can have control over what you want.
Right, definitely. And that's why I know them love y'all talk about this from Atlantic. I know with that, I know because of that, it didn't happen. I know G Wiz was kind of like the main key to y'all going to Motown. So I wonder how y'all can talk about how G Wiz helped y'all with his demo tape with Andre Herrera, because I know he took over Motown at the time. So I want y'all to talk about how did y'all get y'all record deal, even though the change from Atlantic to Motown, like you're with a really, really legendary, record.
Kevin Woodley is the reason why G Wiz knew about us. The transition from Atlantic to Motown was because Kevin and G got together and had the conversation about Forte.
No, actually,
that's wasn't it Kevin and wasn't it Kevin and G Wiz?
No.
What Kevin said.
This is how it happened. So actually, once Atlantic Records decided not to move forward, they shelved the album. So we were released from Atlantic. We were kind of like, where do we go? We had nowhere to go. We were shopping around. So actually, my friend Todd Boogie, remember, he introduced us to the characters, and we did a demo. And
that's right. How do you remember this stuff?
I remember all the weird stuff.
She should be doing all the questions because she remembers everything like an elephant. I remember the memory.
So James Jones was actually the person that kind of brought us.
That's right. It was James. Shout out James. What up, James? No, honestly, I forgot.
And rest in peace to James. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. No, he was the bomb though. He was another big brother in the industry.
So he initially brought us to Motown for a demo.
I forgot about that, you guys.
I completely forgot that fact.
Yeah. So remember, the characters did the demo. Who are you? That was actually our demo for Motown.
Yes, because I was listening to that when I was listening to that the other day. I remember that.
Yeah, I have that on tape, actually. I have that on tape.
And once they heard it, they paired us with G Wiz because they felt like the energy and that, you know what I mean, that he could really take us where we needed to be. That's how that relationship started.
So were we still Forte in the demo process, or we reshaped?
No,
we went right into okay.
Once we left Atlantic, we kind of
was it. Okay.
And that makes sense because I interviewed Troy Taylor a couple months ago for another group. He did B2K, and he talked about how he got through with Motown and stuff like that. How a lot of people played a key role in his life with Motown and what he's done, in the industry and getting with him. I mean, that was legendary. Him and Charles, they did some legendary stuff. Y'all had a great support system at the time to get y'all through it. Like I said, and I started realizing too with y'all were with label mates with 702, Boys to Men. Like y'all really, really had a big thing. I guess
in 98 Degrees.
98 Degrees, y'all had everybody, but
Terrell Hicks.
But looking back at it now too, I feel like y'all were kind of like that new era of Motown, what it was back in the 60s with the Supremes and all that stuff. Because like I said, y'all around the modern, like the younger version of them. But the Supremes, a mixture of that, but not even that. Y'all had your own sound of what y'all
flavor. Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
I think they kind of wanted us to feel that way. I think that's what I know Andre would often say, rest in peace, Dre. He was another one that was really integral in letting us know our worth as artists. And so, but yeah, he would always say that, like, that's my Supremes. I said that on Soul Train because that's what he would say to us all the time. And so that, I think, was his own way of, like, putting Motown back together when it was great. He had everybody in pocket that covered every genre. You had the Boys to Men singing the tight harmonies. You had the 4-part harmonies with the girl group and 702, the trio. So they had everybody covered, basically. And I kind of saw him in that way as like a baby Barry Gordon, where he recreated the best parts of Motown. Yeah.
I think that what went wrong, unfortunately, Andre had the biggest heart. I mean, I have to say, another person that we really have nothing negative to say. He was always with the biggest smile. And, we had fun. We had a good time there. But I think the issue was he was just getting there. So just starting that, at Motown, he was trying to build it up and bringing in too many artists at once. It was kind of overwhelming. And I think that we got lost in it. And to the point where every other week they changed our A&R. Do you know that we had
eight
A&Rs for our album?
Yeah.
Say it again.
We would be in the studio, right? And then recording a song. Somebody would walk in, like, let's say Louis Tillman. Hey guys, I'm here. I'm your new A&R.
Hey, Louis.
Well, where's Chad Elliott? And then when Chad Elliott would come back, right? Chad would leave, and then Eddie F would come in. He's like, I'm your A&R. We had 8 A&Rs.
Yeah,
like we really did.
And the drama with that would be, you would be in the studio singing your part, and Eddie F would put his stamp of approval and go back home and go to bed, and then Louis would come in and go change that, and then he'd leave, and then Chad would come in and go change. So it was always that.
And there was too many cooks in the pot.
In the kitchen.
Yes. And we talk about it. And that's why I said because I was going to ask y'all how was the process of doing it. But like I said, y'all kind of summed it up on how it was. Like I said, on this album, y'all had Eddie F, Chad Elliott. Y'all had so many heavy G-Wiz. Like y'all had so many heavy hitters on this album. That's why I'm like, for me, I felt like I should have been pushed. And that's why I know for y'all, I know it took y'all like almost a year, like in 1997 for the album to come through. But Tell Me I'll Be Around came out in 96. So I want to ask y'all, how was the process working with the characters? And Tiffany, I talked to the girls earlier today. Troy told me to tell y'all he loves you and congratulations on the album and everything. And he did let me let y'all know. He said, I worked y'all hard. I said, I know you did.
He beat the brakes off of me. He beat the brakes off of me. He made me cry.
You made somebody cry. Was it you, Danielle? He made you cry.
Yeah. Danielle cried. And Craig King made me cry. He told me
he made me cry. But you know what? I'm not mad at it. I remember exactly where I cried out on the album when I listened to it.
Every time you hear it, don't you?
So,
I'm like, oh, there's that note.
Let's say out of like all the producers, right? The great thing about the characters, so they were the first ones that we started with for Motown. We went in that night, remember, for Tell Me? And it was kind of like, come on, you guys, I'm going to play this. Let's just come up with something. We sat right there in the basement, remember? I never forget. We recorded Tell Me.
With Carl Thomas.
Within like an hour, yes. And it was like the characters gave us the freedom to write, to have input, you know.
So easy.
We go there. Yes. So we felt completely free. You know, it was a creative experience working with them.
And that's a gem. You know, I'll be honest, y'all. A lot of people call it the gold digging song. So, you know, look, ladies, look.
Let me take this one.
Tiffany's ready. She's ready. She put the gloves on.
With the earphones on.
I used to get so upset. Let me tell you, Monique, remember they used to talk about us on the radio? And we and Monique were the first ones ready to go down there and kick somebody's ass. Like,
always fighting, Chastity. Me and Ted. We were called Mary J. Blige, and we were called the ghetto one.
Oh my God! Don't say anything. So listen, the thing is, we really didn't mean it that way. We were just trying to say, listen, we're doing something in life. We're bringing something to the table, so we want to make sure that we're bringing something to the table too. But I find it ironic that after we said it, everybody else came along and said it, but it was okay.
They don't want no scrubs.
Child came out and they was asking for you to pay their bills. I don't even think we were that blunt.
I said Destiny Child was influenced by y'all because y'all were first, and then right after my girls, that's my favorite girl group, they came right after. I'm like, now Kenny with bills. I said, this sounds like Shay. Tell Me I'll Be Around.
They used to come watch us perform when they were little girls with their dad. They would come and watch us backstage. They were young. But the whole point was guys would talk to you in the club and say, well, do you live with your mama? Do you have your own car? Do you have a job? They want to know your history too. They want to run your credit too. So the whole conversation is the point, what do you have that I'm not bringing to myself? And that brings truth to the day. Right. I could do bad by myself, but if you're bringing something to the table, we could do better all together.
But now you look at City Girls and the culture and what's happening now, and everybody says that, and it's cool now. Like they would never call them gold diggers. You know, it's okay to thing about I'm not going out with you if you're not paying my, you know, and we weren't even, I don't think that blunt about it. You know, I don't think we were even that, they're way more.
We weren't trying to get our nails done. We were just saying, have your own, because we have our own. We're motivated and we're fully mobile, and you need to also be doing the same thing. That's all it was.
I think people weren't ready for it back then. I think it was a little bit before.
We were ahead of the time.
I mean?
Yeah.
We were. We really were.
Yeah. And I think, and it's funny that y'all said it because I said that too when I was doing my research. I said this so reminds me of Bills because even though that became, a big record for them at the time, I was like, you had people like yourself talking about this, like Adina Howard. You know what I'm saying? Was being like, very, raunchy, but not even that, but, taking ownership of their sexuality. And I feel like with you, like, y'all did it in a very classy way. And I think the way people perceive about R&B, they thinking, oh, it's like supposed to be safe and sound, but you can talk your stuff too, but it's in a melodic but beautiful sound of singing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with y'all, like I said, for me, I like that song at the end of the day, it's the jam is about. But I do feel like this too. When you and Ella and y'all came out, he should put y'all on the track. I'm gonna be honest.
Do you want that real story? Go ahead, Monique.
That whole story is crazy. So
Monique, you gotta tell it.
No, I'm gonna tell you the truth too now. Because I'm gonna say the names and everybody's still living. I'm gonna tell the names, but the truth of the matter was, this was our single. We had this idea with our producers to put this song out. It was gonna be a hit. Motown was excited. We already had Eddie F bringing it to Funkmaster Flex at midnight to drop it because the word on the street was after Motown let everybody in the office hear it that Trackmasters went to LL and said, we got to put this out. Our own version is hot. I heard it up in Andre's office. It's a banger. We got to do our own. And that's what happened. So they pushed theirs out after we put ours out. But it looked like we bit him. So the whole freshman tour, we had to go on the radio and explain to people how that was our song. And we were freshmen. And we even let Dre know, like, why can't you go to Russell and say, hey, Russell, why can't he, throw down 8 bars on their remix so they can sing on his background? Nope, nobody wanted to hear that. And so we actually saw him at the Lady of Soul Music Awards back in LA. And we were in a buffet. We were in a buffet line.
Everybody, she's good.
No, I don't care. I really do not care. You're human. You put every foot on the leg like I do. And I said, hi, El, and we're putting my mashed potatoes on my plate, and he's putting his food on his plate. And I said, it's really nice to finally meet you. I said, it's a shame we couldn't have made something happen with those 2 songs, our 2 songs. He said, that's not your song, and that's not my song. It's Bernard Wright's song, and all this drama with this neck and all that. And I just looked at him like, okay, copy that. I understand now it's a bone of contention. But for us, it was worse. We lost money. We lost time in the light without having to explain ourselves.
We lost radio play.
We lost radio play. And to this day, 25 years later, they spin ours for 3 seconds and then they mix the rest in with his. So we never had our light and our time to shine by ourselves. So, for him to have an attitude and he's LL, I was really turned off by that to this day, really.
Yeah.
So we just felt like at least if we were on his song instead of Total, it would have made more sense.
Yes, and that's what I said too.
Exactly. We fought for that. We never got it.
Let me clock you on this though. Remember for Tell Me's video in Miami, who was our stylist?
Ooh. Not Misha. I don't know. I'm just playing.
Sybil Penix was our stylist, but she was also Total's manager.
Oh, true.
See, it was some shade.
Every idea we gave her in our pre-production meeting for this video, what did we say? We wanted to wear that. Who ended up wearing that? Total.
In his video.
We wanted to be underwater. Remember, we wanted to be underwater in the pool. Who was underwater in the pool? Total. I'm done. I'm dead and I'm done. I'm dead on the Bible and I'm done. And that's why I'm over it.
So there's that. It's so funny because I've always felt y'all should have been a record with him because that's
horrible.
How many y'all bodies that? A lot of songs. What do you like? What would you do? Neo Soul Vibes. Like eventually, these are records that is dope. And I'm like,
to this day,
they're timeless. You can still listen to those songs today, and they still fit.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It is crazy to me. Monique, we can't see your face, sweetie. But yes, it's like to me, I just feel like, and that's why I was like for years, I said it's something behind the scenes with this song and y'all song because it was a perfect match. But not that y'all would have been the perfect group for that song. It didn't make any sense to me. That's why I knew it was some BS and some bullshit.
Right.
But like I said, my song is 100, and it's happy that y'all telling y'all story for what it is because everybody knows this is the truth how the industry is. They like bullshit.
Oh, that's it right there. And the thing is, we all know, like he said to her, clearly it's a sample, right? So no, we didn't come up with the original idea of the song, but we did jump on the sample and make it hot, and then you jumped on it and made it hot. So in other words, it was still our idea with the characters. So we just felt at that point the relationship with Motown was never really the same because we didn't feel that they fought for that.
They didn't have our backs.
For Andre, it was kind of like, can you shut that down? Or have him put his out later. Let us get our shine too. But you know, politics, he didn't want to, you know, have issues with them. It was just so we knew from that moment on, we had to fight for everything even more harder than we did before because nobody had our back but us.
It always felt like what could have happened if. It always felt like what could have happened if this could have happened.
Yeah.
We have gone with that. And it feels sad when you think of it that way.
And from that point on, we always said, listen, let's not leak stuff. Stop playing it for everybody before, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what they would do. Like they would take it and run with stuff before we even put the finishing touches on things, right?
And then we never had a good experience with a sample. Like now after everything, we didn't want to use samples anymore after that.
No, because how can you feel safe with that?
Right.
Y'all did amazing on the bar sample time reveal. I love it. Oh,
thank you.
Andre, right? He insisted that we do the bars. Yes.
Yeah.
You were scared at first because you know you don't want to touch certain songs.
Yep. That's the song I cried on. Troy made me cry on.
Oh my God.
I was like, don't make me do it. He's like, you do it again. I was like,
but you know what, ladies, and that's why I had to honor y'all today because for people like y'all, I've always, and like I said, I'm a diehard for girl groups. I love girl groups. I feel like we need groups today, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's people like y'all that if I could still remember y'all 25 years ago as a young child, or not even as an adult, as the years have gone by, it goes to show you that your music is timeless. You know what I'm saying? And I wish Tell Me will be on streaming platforms. I don't know why they don't have it on streaming. It's crazy to me because for me, it's a dope record. It's crazy. And Serenade,
we have to look into that. We don't know either.
Thank you. I know.
Well, they have on Apple Serenade. The Serenade, it's crazy because Serenade, the video is on Apple, but the song we can't play. It's so crazy to me, but it's great, great, great music. I want to listen to the full body of work. And that's why I say I like bodies of work. I like music from the beginning to the end. So for y'all to, make a way and still, be to me, very captivated, inspire my favorite girl group, Destiny's Child with Bills. It goes to show you that you meant something to the culture. You know what I'm saying? And so, and like I said, I like Serenades too. I like y'all little dances, the little sample there, the bye, 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 bye.
Yeah.
That was Darren. Remember Darren was our choreographer?
Yeah, we have
Darren Henson. Yes.
Darren Henson.
That was a great song to record. We worked with Billy Lawrence.
So good.
She wrote it. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, and I did my research. I found that song was the number 3 most requested song on the box back in August.
Oh, yes, the box.
Yes, the box. Wow.
And I think that's dope. When I found out on Billboard to see that y'all did that, I was like, wow, people were really, really tuned into y'all music. You know what I'm saying? And this is at the time where y'all really yes, with Allure, 702. Like, I just like it. Was
flavors.
Yes. Like, girl, black. Like, I mean, it's just so many girl groups, but I feel like with y'all, for what y'all did, I have to give y'all respect and flowers. You know what I'm saying? For what y'all have done for the culture. And for me, I still love Tell Me, and I feel like LL should have put y'all on the track. Period.
Yes. For the 25th anniversary, L. Come on, Uncle L. Like, it's our anniversary. At least give us a little something.
Right? Spotlight.
Little bit.
But I noticed too, y'all, I want to talk to y'all about the process of the album. Y'all worked with Missy, Chad Elliott, Eddie F, a lot of people. How was it working? I know we talked about the characters, but how was it working with those people like Missy Elliott? Today's the 25th anniversary of her album. So how does it feel being together with Missy at the time when y'all did y'all? How was it being in that realm of just being with all these, great artists? And Tricky Stewart too, shout out to him. Y'all worked with him too. Like, y'all worked
Tricky. Yeah.
Well, we actually did not work in the studio with Missy. She wrote the song, but I don't think she was available. So we didn't get that opportunity. We wanted to, but we actually did not work with her in person. But Tricky, we did. And that was a great experience. He was a perfectionist too in the studio, right?
Yes.
The one good thing is that the people that we did work with, they taught us. Really like we thought that we were dope before. Yeah. Like we got in the studio and it was like, wait
once you survive that, you can survive it.
Yeah. Like Monique, am I told like so they taught us that listen, you have a lot to learn, and that we we had vocal training throughout the recording of the album. So just to make us better. So we definitely had singers throughout that process. Because we work with some really tough producers.
Yeah, it was definitely grueling at times, but I feel like I learned so much. I learned how to be quick in the studio, you know what I'm saying? I learned how to I don't even think I ever was in the studio before the Shades experience. Like I feel like I was just doing little things here and there, but nothing professional like that to that level. Like we were in the Hit Factory. I mean, we were like in the same. Mariah was across the room from us. Like it was crazy. Like, and then P Diddy was upstairs, so it was like, you know what I mean? Those are the experiences that it's like those are once in a lifetime. I don't think a lot of people can ever talk about things like that. You know what I mean? And it's like those are the things that you forget. You forget about. Like I forgot about that stuff and now it's like we did that.
Remember that time in the Village we walked in on D'Angelo playing by the piano? He was like, "Come in, girls."
Yes.
It was like my mind was blown.
So many of those moments. John B. Like there was so many of those moments.
So many moments. Wow.
Joe.
Some great experiences.
But listen, I'm not sure if everybody knows, but we did record a second album like shortly after, which we left Motown and we went to Universal. Kedar signed us. We were actually signed to Peter Thomas's label. He had a label. He got into the music for a minute. And he had the same vision we had. So he put us in the studio in Atlanta with Noontime. What do we work with? Jonte Austin.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. And those songs were way hotter than the first album. I mean, that album we truly loved. And that's when we were first, just 3 of us at that time. So that was new for us because we started out with 4. And we signed to this label with just 3 of us. We went down there, had no idea how it was going to go, but those songs were outstanding. Like we loved that album.
Yeah, and that was a great album.
Happened again, and the album never came out. But that's when we knew that we kind of knew what our sound was as grown women, and it got us excited like to keep forward with singing. But
I'll give you a little key too on that album. So if you, I have some tea on that album too. So if you want to hear the flavor of the style of the second album, you have to listen to Nivea's No Doubt. And that's one of the songs that we referenced in the studio that never got put on.
No, we didn't reference, it was our song.
It was our song, but basically they used us as a reference. And then she took the song and put it on her album. And they never took my vocals out. So it sounds like a damn duet. Your mother even said it. Your mother even said it. Yes. Nivea said it too. She admitted it. So some shady shenanigans in every album. I got all the tea. How much time do you have?
There's tea everywhere. There's tea everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Oh my God. How could I forget? We also worked with Marcel Jordan on that album.
Oh, yeah, remember 5 Minute Man? Remember 5 Minute Man?
Oh yeah.
Those songs were incredible.
Kelly Price. Kelly Price.
Yeah.
Montel.
Oh my goodness. Oh wait, when were we with Shep Crawford?
That was 5 Minute
Man. Shep, that's 5 Minute Man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You're a 5 Minute Man doing the best you can, but can't rise again.
What? No, didn't Missy write that?
Originally, they all sat down and wrote it. Her and Kelly and all, remember?
Yeah.
And Montel ended up having it somehow. Him and Kelly. I don't know, but
that was a great experience.
Oh, that was such a great trip to LA to record with him.
That really was.
Good time.
Will we ever get to hear that sophomore album?
Ask Peter Thomas. So. He has the masters.
So here's what happened. When the last time I spoke to him, I said, "We'll buy the masters from you," because he called looking for some, he needed some help. So I said, "Well, if you need help, I got money. Let's exchange the masters with the
right."
And that never happened. So the deal's still on the table, Mr. Thomas.
He said they're in the vault.
In there, his brother's
no, I think his brother has them. Earl.
Yeah.
His brother has them. Earl has them. But either way, we have the cash to buy our masters from him. Maybe not from Motown, but from him we do.
You know what? Those songs are timeless too. Like if you put them out right now,
album is out of here. That album is out of here. If he lets that go, it's a wrap. So you know.
But I will tell you this: he was on. Peter Thomas definitely has an ear, though. I mean that. Yep. He had a vision for that album.
He might have been. He might have ended up on a reality show, but he knew music back then. He really did. Or he surrounded himself with people that did. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That is so amazing, ladies. That's why I'm super proud, because I knew, and I always said this all the time. I was like, I know these ladies have had a sophomore album, but I know because of the business of this industry, I know how the way they kind of mess over people. That's why when I have people on my platform to tell their story, I know it's a lot of, dirty things that happen. And Troy Taylor said this on my show too. At the end of the day, is you really, really have to be very protective of yourself, but not even that. You have to be smart about this industry, because there are people. And I understand, people want to get into it, but they don't know the business of it. You know what I'm saying? And you do understand from people that that been behind the scenes and see how the way it is to become an artist. They get to understand how it is to really, be a part, but not even that, and know how to work this industry or work the machine, like we know.
Right.
But at the same time, is to make yourself marketable, or just get a hit. You know what I'm saying? And I think regardless of what has happened with you ladies, like for me to still remember y'all 25 years later, it goes to show that somebody has made an impact, and for your music to still make an impact to me, and everybody that's on the chat right now, they are really, really proud that you are telling your story. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I put a platform. I don't care if you made 50 hits, 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hits. You made a hit, especially in R&B, because R&B, we don't really get recognized. But on my show, I'm gonna make sure y'all get recognized for all y'all done in this industry. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm super proud of you guys. And I know now you ladies are mothers now. And I know Shannon, like you said, she has left the group, and I'm congratulating for her everything y'all have done. But I wanted to ask you ladies, like, how is it like has changed since y'all have our trio now? But not even that, about this 2019 project that y'all put out, like what made y'all try to come back together and do Shades and do this reunion?
I just feel like it was time, people kept asking us, reunion, get together, when are y'all gonna get together, and we had been talking about it anyway. So I think it was something that was time that we needed to get that done. I know I personally, like, I really wanted to do that. Like, I miss the girls. We had been like sporadically talking here and there, but like, it was like, once we got back together, the magic was it was so amazing. Just that what we got together one time, got in the studio, and just, it just all clicked, like back together again. You know what I mean? And then I was just like, oh my God. And then we recorded that one song, and it was just so angelic. I don't know if you heard it. It's called This Ain't Love, and we wrote it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was kind of like a prelude to what we want to do, and we had a little show that we did, and it was so amazing. But then COVID hit, and it was like, heart-wrenching, because it was like we were just getting back and into it, and then there's that. So it's like,
wow.
So it's like, what next? But I think that there's much more in store for Shades. Honestly, I think that this is just the beginning of the next episode for us, for sure.
And that's why I'm proud of you guys, and I'm just congratulatory of everything that you ladies have done in this industry. But not even that, you really, really made a classic album. That means a lot to me. It means a lot to my viewers out here. But not even that, to hear y'all tell y'all story about how everything came about, and Troy Taylor to show and open that door for you guys. It really goes to be a great album. But I wanted to ask y'all another question, since today is the 25th anniversary of this beautiful, timeless album, your self-titled debut album, Shades. All three of you ladies, if you had to describe one word about this album, what word would it be?
For me, it's timeless. Like, I could listen to that album every day for the rest of my life, and it will never get old.
You stole my word.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, if that's the word that we could use, right? Isn't that a great word? Yeah, it's eclectic. It's timeless. It
is timeless.
It really is, because I don't feel like anything sounds like old or dated, or, you know what I mean? It's just, everything still sounds fresh.
And you know what?
Like the first day.
Right. You know what, too? We were talking about more like the popular records, but we had records on there like Eventually, that was really like inspirational. That was on the soundtrack for the Associate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, with Goldberg. So that never really, that was out in Hawaii, right, you guys? I think they played that a lot there. But that
we were number one in Hawaii for that
Texas,
song. Yeah.
Yep, Hawaii, Texas. Yeah.
That's how come we went. They brought us to Hawaii 3 times.
3 or 4
yeah.
times. Yeah.
So we had that, and then we had I Believe that Love Should Mean Much More Than Sex. That one. So we, you know, we wrote that one. So I think as writers, we had some messages on that album that were inspiring to women, to young women. Yeah, so I think that's important too, and that's what makes it a little special to me.
Totally.
That we got to have some messages in that album.
I agree, and that's why y'all took my word. It was fresh. That was my word for y'all.
I took everybody's word, I guess.
Well, with y'all, I actually understood what this album meant, and I think with y'all wasn't like every other girl group. I know we had SWV, Escape, Vogue, and all these, but y'all were a young girl group that came from Motown. That I think everybody was expecting like y'all were gonna be these Supremes, but y'all really took a daring move, and that's why when I listened to this album, it had neo soul vibes, pop, hip hop, R&B. Y'all took a plethora, and I always talk about Aaliyah's album all the time. Her last album, she was kind of in their realm too. Like y'all weren't trying to be like these girl next doors, you know, pristine, you know, beautiful, in Vogue-esque type ladies. Y'all wanted to be something different. That's why when I sat back and looked at this, like eventually, like you said, it was on the soundtrack, yes. And I think when you listen to records like that, like what would you do is I think my favorite because I'm a neo soul girl.
Too. That's my favorite.
When y'all say y'all was with D'Angelo, I said I can see you and D'Angelo, y'all singing on that because
you know who wrote that, right?
You said what? I'm sorry.
Green. You know who wrote that one, right? Kenny Green from Intro.
Oh,
yes.
R.I.P. to him. That man.
He was a beast. Yeah.
Yes. He wrote that song. I love that song.
Oh, that one was dope. But I still that for y'all. Y'all wasn't trying to be like every other girl group. And I hate that when stuff like that, people just don't understand. I think what it means to be different and be daring. And I think for y'all had that formula for y'all. So when I sit back and look, I was like, yeah, they may be part of Motown, but the lyrics, and I'm a lyric person. Like I love lyrics and I love content, but I love women empowerment songs. Like maybe a little bit too much of the women empowerment, but for me, if you're making a statement and making something that women can do things and not even that believe in themselves and put themselves first, I want records like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that right there will change my life in so many ways. And that's why you ladies, I'm super proud.
And that's why I think the album was called Shades. Because when we came up with that name, it wasn't, people said, oh, you guys are all the same color pretty much. And we're like, that's not what it's about. We were 4 shades of women with totally different personalities that were able to come together and make it blend. So when you listen to that album, we all had a piece of it. So everybody got to shine on the album, which is what I think made us a little bit different because you're Destiny's Child. But you really wouldn't know it for a few years, right? Because it was structured that way. You know, no fault to anyone, but when I heard Latoya, I'm like, you would never know. So we were able to get an opportunity on the album. So I think that's what makes it a little different too.
And that's why, ladies, I'm gotta give you your flowers and just give you so much respect and everything you done. But I wanted to ask you, do you have any upcoming projects that you have going on for yourselves for the group? But I'm there, what is going on with y'all ladies' lives? Like y'all getting back together? What's going on with Shades?
Danielle.
So we are actually in the talking stages of doing more music. So I think that because like I said, we did that in 2019 and we never got to finish. So I'm thinking, well, we've been talking about it. So we're thinking that we're gonna maybe do some more music and do some more videos. And we definitely were talking about, doing some shows, maybe going overseas. You know, that's always an option. They love R&B over there. You know, so I mean, and basically, so I'm for me personally, I'm still doing, music as well. I sing every weekend. I'm in bands and things like that. And so, but music is my first passion, my first love. So I will always do that.
That's amazing. Miss Monique, y'all have anything? Miss Tiffany?
Yeah, I mean, from going forward, we definitely look forward to getting more music out there, possibly touring. I'm still doing hair and TV and film, so it's a little harder for me to see that far out. But as much as I can do to make it happen, I'm going to go all the way down the line with these ladies. We've come this far, why not, right? We have to go to Asia. It's just Asia. Let's go.
Dubai, let's go.
Go ahead, Miss Tiffany.
I was just going to say, as Danielle said, we have been thinking about it lately. We have a writer, producer, when he wants to do the whole project. So we're hoping September will start and we'll release something by January. So just pray for us that everything goes smoothly, and we just hope for the best.
And y'all going the independent route, right? Y'all independent, correct?
Redbone Records.
Okay, come on, come through. Look.
Redbone.
Tiffany's laughing. That's our label. I don't know why you laughing.
Come on. And I know y'all run a lot. And I want to ask y'all, what advice would you want to give to any upcoming groups? And I know we talk about that with R&B. Like, do you feel we need, I guess, groups in general, back groups, and not even that? What advice do you want to give somebody that is forming their own girl group, or like groups in general? Like, what advice do you want to give them about this industry?
Ooh.
How much time we got?
I don't know who's causing the echo. Is it one of us? Is it me?
It just happened automatically out of nowhere.
Okay.
My
advice is make sure your business is intact. Like, you have to make sure that you have an attorney. Make sure that you know about royalties. You sign up with ASCAP. You review your contract with the attorney, not just let the attorney review the contract. Just make sure that your business is in order, because we did not do that the way that we should have. We didn't know any better. We were 18 years old when we started. So we had this fly attorney. He was so sharp and cool. So we thought he got us, So we were just so excited, but we did not sit down and map everything out the way we should. So you have to put the business before the creative side.
So I want to add, just to be aware that people take advantage of folks who have a passion for music and just want to be, they would throw everything away just to have that one chance. So always be aware that there are people out there that are looking to take advantage of that fact. So if you really want to do this, have someone in your team that loves you unconditionally and doesn't need anything from you. Have that person down with you, because they're going to tell you the truth and they're going to have your back no matter what. So I won't say have a mom or a dad, because maybe mom and dad are shady. You want to have someone who really, literally just wants your best interest. You know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah. And I would have to
I wish
say
we had had that. Yeah.
You definitely
we had
would
Tiff's
need.
mom, we had Shannon's mom, but it wasn't consistent. Like, it wasn't the same as having a mom that's a manager, or to have your back. You need that.
Yeah, and I would have to add that I think that you, as an artist, need to stay true to yourself. So whatever that may be, like whatever you feel, what lane you're in, where you're going with your music career, I think that you need to stay true to yourself, because you're gonna get a lot of different advice and input and cooks in the pot like we had. But if you stay true to what you believe in and what you know is right, then that's gonna take you to the end game.
But you know what, ladies? Regardless of that, and I always tell everybody, you live and you learn from your mistakes. But I think with you ladies, because you have learned from so much about this industry, and I think that's why 25 years later today, we can be talking about your legacy. And I just want to thank you ladies so much for coming on my platform, because I love girl groups. I feel like girl groups, they make history in music, and that's why y'all will forever, ever, ever have a legacy on my platform. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies, do y'all have any last words before we do end today's live? Or y'all celebrate? What are y'all doing today, since I know today's the anniversary of y'all album? I know everybody's kind of separate right now.
Yeah, I wish we were together.
We're all over the place. We're in 3 different states. I wish we could be together. I'm in Jersey. Danielle's in Massachusetts. And
I'm in Newport, Rhode Island. So we're far from each other. Me and Danielle aren't far though. We're pretty close. We're like half hour from each other.
Yeah.
Well, I could definitely pop a bottle for you guys.
I don't drink anymore. I'm California sober, so I won't have a drink, but I'll toke one for y'all.
Well, ladies, we are in today.
We want to thank you so much because when people reach out to us, it makes us feel like, you know, it gives us encouragement when we decide to keep doing it. So if people like you don't reach out and tell us that we matter, then we'll give up. And we feel like, you know what, nobody's checking for us anyway. So I just really want to tell you, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, I have one more question I did want to ask y'all. Did y'all sing Backup for Whitney Houston?
I did.
There you go.
You did it,
I did. Yeah.
And
But it wasn't.
the hair.
So this is the story.
Okay, go ahead, Danielle.
So I was initially singing backup for Johnny Gill for Bobby Brown's mom's funeral. Johnny Gill put a band together because he was gonna sing a couple songs at the funeral. It's a gospel song. Never should have made it. Never would have made it.
Wait, everybody mute themselves. It's so much echo. Hold on.
And so we went to the funeral parlor home, and we knew Whitney was gonna be there. And so Johnny Gill gets up. We start singing for Johnny Gill back up and everything. And then Whitney decides she wants to join in to sing. So that's how I ended up singing behind Whitney Houston.
Oh,
And also, when I was singing backup for Enrique Iglesias, they had a duet. Whitney Houston and Enrique Iglesias had a duet, so I sang backup for her then as well.
Another 6 degrees of Whitney Houston. I just finished the movie of her biopic, so her movie's gonna be out next year.
I can't wait to see
that.
that.
Yeah, the Whitney. I want to dance with somebody. It's gonna be dope. Yeah.
See, y'all legends doing legendary stuff. Child by I'm done with all 3 of y'all, okay? Well, ladies, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I
love you.
I love all 3 of you ladies, and give Shannon my love for me as well.
Okay.
Absolutely.
With our beautiful interview with the R&B legend, the 25-year veterans, the one, the only Shade. Thank y'all ladies so much.
Thank you.
We'll have it back on here when we put some new music out.
Be on the lookout.
Come back on my show.
Yes.
So definitely let me know. I love you ladies, and y'all be blessed.
Definitely. Bye, guys.
Bye.